This here is the all-new generation of the Volkswagen Passat. And in comfort, technology and in the length, it wants to push more towards the upmarket segment. Actually, Volkswagen claims that they are pushing towards the upper mid-size segment. What is that in the European definition? It would be Audi A6, Mercedes E-Class or BMW 5 Series. That's supposed to work. We're going to find out here with Thomas and Autogefühl in 4K, full screen, full length. Let's go with this new front. Light strip goes all the way across, right to left. Also new headlamps in the top LED trim, the IQ Light, the Matrix LED. Of course, that's an option. And then you can see here these very sporty accentuations being the R-Line with this lower front grille all in black. A very good contrast to the white color. The length here now at 4.92 meters or 194 inches. That's 14 centimeters or 5.5 inches longer than the predecessor. And also the wheelbase has grown 5 centimeters or 2 inches. That will all go to the rear bench. We're going to find out about the legroom very soon. Wheels up to 19 inch. These are the biggest ones and they are also in this aerodynamic styling. Once again, a large contrast to the white exterior. The R badge is now bigger and moved right here. And technology-wise, suspension is the key thing because they want to lift the comfort, at the same time sportiness. How they do that? The DCC is now called DC Pro. It's an evolutionary upgrade and now works with a 2-valve shock absorber, and that is giving you a wider span between comfort and sportiness. We'll find out soon in our driving test. Here you can see, obviously, this is the estate or the wagon or Kombi, as we say in German, because the sedan of the Passat is no more. Maybe you have already seen in the design that the new Passat is aerodynamically optimized, moving the CD value from 0.31 to 0.25. That is a massive upgrade and will also lead in a lower consumption. And then you can see this rear lining. I mean, it's a little bit more sensual and sporty. What is that supposed to mean? I can tell you, because this is also going to replace the Arteon shooting brake. Not now, but in a couple of years. So this is basically working, as a replacement for two vehicles at the same time. New Passat generation and also then long-term for the Arteon. Then here the light going all the way through, interesting three-dimensional structure, and then the connection from right to the left. And once again, the optional R-Line adds these sporty accentuations in the lower part. Turning indicators in the front, in the higher LED trim levels, it's also with this cascading effect and really very wide. I think you can't miss that when someone is turning. Turning indicators in the rear, also with the cascading function then here. Of course, not from the base. Yeah, I think it's pretty cool, the whole light design behind the transparent glass then here and then very visible. What's your take on that? This color here is called Mariposite green. It's kind of like a mint color and a little bit more variation for you. 18-inch wheels we have on this one. This is here the Elegance trim, the other top trim, so not in a sporty direction. And therefore also the front is different here with more horizontal accentuation, more chrome use. Which one would you go for? Here the more elegant Elegance trim or sporty R-Line? Tell me in the comments. And the Elegance trim in the rear, the lower part is once again different, more chrome styling, and also here, no fake exhaust tips. And should you wonder what the hell is Mariposite, well, it comes from this mineral. I just googled it here, and I think for that, the color fits quite well then. I told you that the new Passat is much more aerodynamic, and two of the measures you can immediately see are these here, for example, these small lines on top of the hood. They channel the air to the side of the vehicle, or for example also these side lower air curtains. So the air goes then here, it's being channeled to the side, also less turbulences in the wheel arches. So many different small things they adapted here. Two of them just to mention, and that brought the drag coefficient so much lower. And another color for you, this here is Reef Blue, also featured with the R-Line, and this also has an additional black package, so we have even more blacked out parts. Here also with special 19-inch wheels in an aerodynamic styling. So to be more upmarket, yes, suspension technology and also the length increase for the rear legroom. What else can they do? Yes, sound insulation, and the dual insulated front windscreen is actually standard. And then optional, you can also get the dual insulated side windows. That is then an extra package you have to pay for, and it could pay off, especially when you're driving, higher speeds on the German Autobahn, for example. Yeah, that's always the German thing. If you're watching our channel, you know what I mean. Guilty as charged. Key fob, high gloss black, not my favorite. However, this one here, the door closing sound, that is beautiful, well done. And inside of the doors, soft touch also on the top part, structured, then microfiber insert here with the R-Line. This is already backlit, that's quite cool. New door handles from the inside and more microfiber used right here. Felt on the inside of the door pocket. Checks all the boxes basically. The only hard part is this one, but it's also structured. And then R-Line entry badge. It's also the R-Line interior, R-Line steering wheel, perforation at the side. R-Line also real buttons when they're listening to the customers here at Autogefühl. Soon more to this new digital cockpit. First of all, the seats. Even for the R-Line, you now get these integrated head restrained seats, and they have fabric on the inside, microfiber accentuations, leatherette on the outside. They look kind of sporty. But the cool thing is that they are also very comfortable and work for tall adults. You can make this lower part a little bit longer then. And wow, it's really great comfort. 189 or 6'2" means still a lot of headroom. Well, this one is the one which has a panoramic roof. Let me turn it on with the ignition. You can also open it. So more and more we see these panoramic roofs that you cannot open. This one still can be opened in a very wide way. And it also has a shade you can also retract. Steering wheel goes up and down, in and out like this. Smooth process, and you can really find a good seating position also as a tall adult. This is really a vehicle that is long mileage proof. Interior cockpit overview with 15-inch in your face. 13-inch would be standard. This 15-inch screen an option. I've put Apple CarPlay here on there with Google Maps. Wow, the advantage is you can very well see that, and you're in a way less distracted when things are larger, because then it's just less effort to look at them. And also when you here press things, it's also less effort then. On the right side, illumination. This can also change according to the ambient light mode, for example, and it changes the color. Here in the R-Line, nice microfiber use as well. And then these lower sliders here for the temperature, they are now at least backlit. You could also change the temperature in here, but depending on what you like. On the steering wheel, I once again enjoy these real buttons I can press, for example, also to change the view in the infotainment system, like this analog digital view or this dual view and so on. I'm not sure if you can see it yet, but here this digital instrument now features an anti-reflective coating. An important update, the Passat now gets a real head-up display projected into the windscreen, not like this separate plexiglass layer that was popping up before. Gear selection is the right stalk column here, forward D, reverse and park mode on the right side. The infotainment system is now quicker, more responsive and so on. Here there's an alternative main menu where you can go to also once again to the Apple CarPlay, but also is always in the hotkey here in the top part. So I think the most important thing is now that it is quicker than before. The massage seats can also be activated here, for example, or once again the climate unit up close. So I prefer real climate knobs. They are also going back to that in all new models in the future. But here at least you have a quick screen now and with better overview and so on. There's the camera system here, by the way. So I think big improvement. What about the voice assistant? Pressing the button at the steering wheel. I'm hot. Yeah.
Sure, it will get cooler at the front left shortly.
Okay, that works. New middle console here with these sliders. Then you have adaptive cup holders. In the front part, the inductive charging pad and 2 USB-C chargers with 45 watt charging power. That's cool. And then here we have the split armrest, taken from the E-Class maybe. And then you open it and then you have this additional storage here you can put out. That's interesting. What would you put in there? And underneath, more space. Rear seats, first of all, inside of the doors, we have plush materials as well. That's nice. Also the illumination and microfiber in the R-Line. And then this is the main thing. So much legroom. Yeah, reminds you of a Skoda Superb indeed. So this is the seat as I would be driving as a tall person and still have ample of legroom. And headroom, no problem, although it's design-wise, you know, a little bit more fluent and so on, but this is no problem at all actually. And it's super comfortable in the rear. Also business for the rear seats. You also have seat heating for the rear seats if you like, this top option here. And also this separate climate unit. And you have USB-C chargers above. Here the armrest, you can fold that down. Then you have cup holders here, they're also adaptive. And this iPad holder or something, yeah, but why not? Let's now check out the trunk, electric hatch here. And the thing is, yes, you have this design thing that it's not super square, so it's a little bit lower here. But then again, the whole car got longer, and that's why you have 40 liters more of trunk. Now it's 690 liters, up to 1,920 liters. That's 140 liters more than before. When you fold the seats like this, you can do it from here. Great solution. Then here you can secure your luggage with these splitters, then it can't fly all over the place. You can also easily remove these splitters like this. And then we have good meter of 40 inches. And the normal length of the trunk, you can see here, that's actually quite cool. This here is 1 meters 13 or 44 inches, and that is quite impressive actually. The total height, also important here, is 70 centimeters or 27 inches. Below here, more space, sound either, or then replacement tire and so on. And another important thing is you can also have the deployable towing hook right here, that you have to put up yourself, and then when you want to put it away again, do it like this. And another premium feature, look at the cover here of the trunk. It's closing and opening, depending on you open and close the hatch. That's a very good feature actually. And thank you, Leah, for opening and closing that for us. Under the hood, we start with a 2-liter TDI, the typical salesman engine, long mileage and so on. 193 horsepower would be the top spec. And that one comes with all-wheel drive, but you can also get 2 other cheaper ones with a little bit less horsepower. Then the 1.5 TSI, the turbo petrol engine, mild hybrid, 150 horsepower, or then the bigger 2-liter TSI, also 4-cylinder engine, and they're in the top 265 horsepower spec, also with all-wheel drive. Biggest update will be with the plug-in hybrid, that one based on the 1.5 turbo petrol engine, and then now with 20 kilowatt hours net battery, so doubled the battery capacity, also doubled the electric range. I would say realistic one, 80 kilometers or 50 miles, something like that. And now also quicker charging, 11 kilowatt AC or 50 kilowatt DC charging. So what do you think? Does it work to put the Passat more upmarket? More we can definitely find out with driving it soon, so stay subscribed. Or would you rather think you would still go for a little bit more money and then Audi, BMW, Mercedes?